Inside the 12 rolls on. Pete Souza coming to you from Big 12 Studios. Happy to be joined yet again by our Big 12 women's hoops analyst, Rachel Galligan. Rachel, I first want to know if you're caught up on rest after going wall to wall every day from Kansas City last week in the women's tournament.
I am not, but I am still riding on a little bit of adrenaline. You know how those weeks are. They're so much fun, but then you crash afterwards.
Yeah, well, guess who didn't crash? TCU, right? They are now at the top of the heap in the Big 12. How did the Horned Frogs do it?
I mean, in my opinion, it's one of the best stories in all of college basketball, what Mark Campbell and his staff were able to do in turning this program around. I mean, let's not forget they were running open tryouts a year ago to fill out their roster. And it all starts with recruiting in the offseason, adding the pieces that were perfect together. Obviously, Haley Van Lith is a huge part of that, who would go on to be crowned Big 12 Player of the Year. She's playing the best basketball of her career. She is the leader of this team. You combine her with a dominant post and Sedona Prince. Those are two potent players in the pick and roll game. And then the floor spacer in Madison Connor, who leads the nation in threes. And then there's Taylor Bigby, Agnes Emanopu, Donovan Hunter, all players who know their roles and they play those roles exceptionally well. TCU wins their first ever Big 12 regular season title, their first ever Big 12 tournament title, first ever 30-win season. It's just been a historic year, and I really hope everyone can take a moment to appreciate this team and all that they're doing, because it really is quite the story.
They had to go through Baylor to really wrap things up, and they've played 3 close games that have been decided, talking about Baylor and TCU, by a total of 13 points. What does this in-state rivalry mean to the Big 12 and the national scene?
Well, it's fascinating. TCU snapped that 37-game losing streak to Baylor. They hadn't beaten them since 1990, a streak that had gone back 35 years. It's funny, someone said, hey, yeah, did you realize Michael Jordan hadn't even won an NBA title back then? Which is just crazy to think about. But they met up in the first ever regular season Big 12 finale to decide the regular season champion. Then again in the tournament, like you said, all of these games decided by 1 or 2 possessions. I think it's great for the league. It's great for college basketball. 2 in-state teams, only an hour and a half from one another. I mean, these are the types of rivalries that are great and what make college sport fun.
We talked about these top 2 teams, but who is another team that stood out to you for what they accomplished this season and at the Big 12 tournament?
Well, I think you have to talk about Oklahoma State. I cannot stress enough how much I have loved the storyline and the job that J.C. Hoyt and her squad have done this year. This was a program picked 11th in the preseason. They finished 3rd. Their 14 conference wins are the most league wins in program history, and it's also their first 25-win season since 2013-2014. Personally, if you ask me, I think this team has been a little bit overlooked on the national scale. I think they should be higher than the projected 7 seed, but keep your eye out for the Cowgirls. I've said it all year long that this is a team that can make noise in the tournament.
Looking now at the latest projections, right? We're just days away from Selection Sunday. What stands out for you for Big 12 teams as we head into this huge seismic event?
Well, it looks like they're projecting the Big 12 with 7 in. I was really glad to see TCU move up to a 2 seed. Baylor bumped up to a 4 seed after the tournament. I think the tournament spoke volumes to the depth and the competitiveness of the league. And then you have Kansas State, a really good 5 seed, West Virginia at 6, Oklahoma State at 7, Utah at 8, and Iowa State at 10 seed. And I've got an interesting stat for you. Every Big 12 team with 12-plus conference wins has made the tournament. They're a perfect 70 for 70 in league history. So if you apply that to Iowa State, I don't really buy the last 4 in talk. I think Bill Fenley and his group have done a great job of positioning themselves firmly in the field, winning 7 of their last 9 games with a key win over number 14 Kansas State. They finished 12-6 in Big 12 and are trending in the right direction, playing their best basketball at the right time.
All these teams you've mentioned looking to make some noise. Is there a particular team you think is primed to put others on notice?
I think you could make a case, honestly, for all of the teams that I just mentioned, but I do kind of want to focus on Baylor and Kansas State. Baylor's depth, their experience, their ability to defend makes them really scary. That's a scary matchup for anybody in the country, and with them expected to get Dariana Littlepage-Buggs back for the tournament, that was their leading scorer and rebounder, who they've been without the last couple of weeks. I'm really looking forward to seeing that team at full strength. And then Kansas State. I mean, let's not forget, this is the preseason favorites in the Big 12 for a reason. In my opinion, this is a Final Four roster when healthy and clicking. They've been without Ayoka Lee for the later part of the season. She has been cleared and is expected to play in the tournament. I know she has practiced this week. The Wildcats are veteran. They have a ton of offensive weapons. They're a great defensive team with one of the best point guards in the country in Serena Sundell. And now with Lee back, it kind of feels like a whole new season.
All right, we've seen the dominance of Rachel Galligan all year long. We appreciate you. We'll be back in touch with you soon to talk more women's hoops. Enjoy it all. Thanks so much, Rachel.
Thank you.
All right, we've got our last commercial break coming up. When we return, we're talking seeding selection Sunday and where we think the Big 12 teams will land in the NCAA tournament bracket.